So now what we are going to do is proceed to the next topic for the day, which is basic geometry. So let me quickly save this file and open the basic geometry file. Yeah. So for example, the purpose of using AutoCAD is that to create geometry or lines, arcs, circle that are necessary in the phase of producing clean and error-free drawings. So even if you're modeling for AutoCAD 3D, you need these geometries to extrude a sketch, or for example, to create a profile. So you need the basic geometry commands that lets you or helps you in creating these basic geometry or line tools, which will govern the or it will form the skeleton for our drawing. So now let's get started with the basic geometry tool offered to us by AutoCAD. So what is the first geometry tool that we are going to cover? So if you get to the home tab, the leftmost icon is the line icon. So line icon helps you in creating series of line segments. So if you click line, what does it ask is that it asks you to specify the first point. You can either, for example, what I can do is I can type the coordinate that will help me in creating the line segment, or I can click anywhere in the model space that will define my first coordinate. Similarly, I can create line segments at any angle or any length and any orientation. So this is the feature of line icon that helps us in creating line segments. Similarly, while producing line segments, I want you to pay attention to modeling feature. So for example, if you come close to the end point of the current line segment, what you can see is a green square shaped feature. So you can see there is a green square-like shape that it appears. It's nothing but it is called as an object snap. So we use this icon feature to mark points for our next line segment. Similarly, I can draw lines at any angle, but if you pay attention to it, if I come close to the multiples of 45 degree, you can see a green dotted line that it appears to mark way for my line segment. So this is called as the polar tracking. It helps me in drawing lines in multiples of the increments of the angles I choose. So if I choose 90 degree, you can see the green line appears again. And if I get back to 135 degree, the green line appears again. So it occurs in the multiples of an angle that I choose. So similarly, object snap helps you in choosing. So for example, I want to create a right angle triangle, and then I'm marking this point as my coordinate, and then I'm marking the angle as 45 degree. So as you bring your cursor down, this will helps you in creating the point that is exactly perpendicular in creating your right angle triangle. So now let's see how to control the object snapping and polar tracking. So when you are in your AutoCAD model space, towards your bottom right corner of the screen, this is the customization toolbar that we discussed. And if you hover towards the left side, you can see a rectangle. Above that, there is a small rectangle, like a snap that it appears. So it helps you in snapping the cursor to the 2D reference point, and I have turned it on. So if I turn it off, and then click the line segment and producing the line. So what happens is I don't see the green rectangle anymore. While if I turn this element on and then create a snap, it lets me snap to the 2D reference objects that is created in my model space. Similarly, there are different features to object snap. So if you click this, what happens is you can either snap to the endpoint of the object or midpoint of the object. And if you're drawing some circle or polygon elements, you can snap to the center of the model element, or you can choose the geometric center. So how does geometric center or the side center differ? We will discuss that. Or you can select a particular node. So if you want to select not the endpoint or not the midpoint, and you want to select a particular node, AutoCAD helps you to snap even that. Similarly, if you want to snap to intersection of lines or extension lines, you can click those lines that will help you to choose the particular line segment. Similarly, if you are drawing some, let's say like complicated geometry drawings, and then you wish to select the exact point of intersection of tangent and the line, you don't have to calculate or make sure to recreate those drawings. You can use a simple feature by clicking the snap that will let you in selecting the point that is intersecting with the tangent. Similarly, you can control these icons just by clicking it on, or if I click the midpoint off and then let me select a line, I want to draw from the midpoint of this line segment, it doesn't let me do it. It lets me click only to the endpoint of the line segments. Similarly, if I click the midpoint on, and then if I have to go back to the line icon, what happens is it lets me snap to the midpoint of the line segment and then create line segments as I wish. The next toolbar that we have to pay attention is specified angles, which is the polar tracking. Similar, like when we are drawing our line segments, we wish to draw these line segments in the form of or in the multiples of angles that requires. So for example, polar tracking offers you the specification to draw in terms of 90 degrees, 45 degrees, 30 degrees, or 22.5 degrees, 18 degree, 15 degree, 10 degree, and 5 degree. So there are multiples of options created by AutoCAD for you, and you can use those features in drawing the lines. For example, if I choose 30 degree, and then enable that feature. So I can go back to line icon, and let's say like I want to draw a line 0 degree, and then what happens is when you bring your cursor to 30 degree, it creates the green set of dashed lines that lets you create those angles for you. So for example, 90 degree, yeah, it creates another angle, and then this 0 degree, another line. So it will AutoCAD lets you create these line segments in the multiple of a particular angle that you measure and you specify. And when we are drawing line segments, so for example, there is a hover toolbar, hover feature that we can follow in controlling. How do we make these
Girish?
icons? Yeah, Nageshwari.
We do have a question from Bhaskar. So it's like, so the question is how the length dimension defined and how to set the dimension is the question.
Yeah, that's a good question. So we have we will get to that. For example, right now we are in the getting started with the basic geometry for today. So when we get the next topic for today is going to be like drafting styles and standards. So when we get to that subtopic, we will answer how to define the length and how to measure the length or set the units for measurement for a particular drawing. So probably like I would request you to just wait for like 30 to 40 minutes so that we can get to that phase wherein we will be discussing how to add dimensions in our modeling segment. So can I resume with the line segment?
Sure.
Yeah, sure. So we have like for example, I was in the polar tracking. So if we want to make a drawing at with reference to one or more points, you can select one point and then not click it with your mouse, and then you can select another point and then not click it with your mouse, and then you can click the first point and then add reference to your selected points using the hover feature. So this will let you control the reference points for your modeling space or creating line segments. So if you are not interested, if you're drawing, for example, if you're producing construction drawings for walls or floor plans, and then you are aware that all your floor and wall elements are at 90 degrees only, so you can turn on this orthogonal mode. And then you can pay attention to when you switch to orthogonal mode, your polar tracking is turned off. So if you click the line feature now, so you can click the first point, and then you can see that even though I drag the cursor at a particular angle, I'm able to draw lines only at either 0 degree or 90 degree. So this will make sure that you can draw your lines perpendicular, and then you don't have a slanting wall or a wall that is at an angle when you are producing your drawings if you have your orthogonal mode turned on. So if you're producing some specific drawings, what I would suggest you is either be in orthogonal mode or polar tracking mode at specified angles so that you can control the way your line appears in your modeling space. The next extension to line icon is Polyline. So Polyline is a sequence of line segments for a single planar object. So what I can do is I can specify my start point and then create a line segment, and then I can extend it to another line segment, and then it doesn't have to be a series of lines. For example, I can choose the line segment to be a arc. I can create a arc and then click enter. So if you select, okay. So when you create polyline, what you can do is specify your start point, create a series of line segments, and then you can right click and then you can choose. You can either choose length or undo, or choose your this line segment to be an arc to create these line segments. So you can see that the entire drawing that you created has appeared in the form of a single series of object, a polyline object, which you can control the length, or you can control by snapping to the object the angle. So Polyline offers you the feature that lets you create a series of icons that are interconnected to each other. So why is this feature important? So for example, when you are creating a model face icon, such as a wall or a let's say a floor plan or a door or a staircase, it is highly essential that these objects are integrated as one particular feature, so that if you make an change to that icon, it is reflected to all the elements. So you can use polyline feature. For example, if you use a line to create the same drawing, so I have created a series of lines using line command, but what happens is it selects each and every line individually. So it is not integrated as of now. But when you use the polyline feature, you can use polyline feature to create lines and arcs as a part of line, and then integrate them in the form of angles, or change the angular measurements and produce the new model elements that are integrated as one unit. So now the next tool that we are going to discuss is circle. So how can you create circle using the AutoCAD toolbar? Either you can create, let's delete our model space to have some clear workspace. So when you click circle, either you can create a circle with a center and radius point. So for example, I can click the center and then specify the radius of circle to be 4 feet, and then it creates the circle for me. Based on my location, the standard units is imperial units. So my AutoCAD has been set up to imperial units when I open it. So if you're sometimes AutoCAD, based on the location, it sets up the standard units. If your toolbar is based on metric units, you can enter those radius or diameter with reference to millimeter units or meter units, and we will be discussing how to set up units in our model, and then how to convert from one system of units to other per the question that we received in our drafting and annotation standards. So the other way to create circle is using center and diameter. For example, I can click this point to be my center, and then I can click my diameter to be, and then it creates a 4 feet radius circle which is 8 feet in diameter. Or what I can do is a 2-point circle. Similarly, what I can do is either I can create this first point, center point, and then the center point of other circle, 2-point circle. So you can create 2 points that will act as the chord or diameter, and then it helps you producing the circle. Similarly, 3-point circle, specify the radius. So it will let you specify the radius of the circle, and then second point on the circle, and then it will let you how, in what way you want to expand your circle. So you can control, like it's more like a pendulum. You can oscillate or control the third point in your circle, and then it will create based on the chord lengths that were created in your circle. Similarly, there are like even more complicated way of creating a circle when you are using the tan, and radius, or tan, and tan, based on 3 tangents to a circle. So if you have a tangent, and if you want to create, for example, these features are used when you are producing complicated drawings. For example, if you are using a anchor bolt or base plate design, and then you want to control your circle diameter based on the base plate width, or within the base plate width, so that it doesn't cross the bolt size, or the anchor bolt size doesn't cross the base plate dimension. We use these feature that lets us create the parametric and specified circle with diameter and radius. For if you're a beginner or like new user to AutoCAD, what I would suggest you is use the center radius or center diameter or 2-point feature in creating circles as a geometric feature. We learned how to create arcs in the recent polyline command. So the command that we are going to discuss today is the start, center, and end command. So when you select this, what happens is you can choose the start point. You can choose this point, end point, and you can choose the end point of your arc. And then you can see the arc has been created, which is overriding with the circle. Similarly, you can create arcs either with starts, center, and length, or starts, end, and angle, start, end, and direction, or start, end, and radius. So if you select this, click the start point, specify the end point of the arc, and when you drop down, you can see the radius of the arc that is created. You have specified the start point, center point, and the radius from the center point to create arcs. Similarly, the geometry toolbar offers us features in creating, for example, rectangles. You can specify the rectangle and draw a rectangle feature. This is an extension feature of Polyline. So Polyline lets you, in Polyline, you have to draw, let's say the rectangle, all the 4 lines yourself, but rectangle command helps you in creating the polygon automatically. Similarly, what you can use is not only rectangle, you can draw other polygons. So AutoCAD's standard feature polygon starts with the number of sides as 4. You can specify, for example, if I want to draw a hexagon, AutoCAD offers 2 ways to draw a polygon. It asks me to specify the center of polygon. So I can specify any point in my model space, and then there are 2 options to draw a polygon. Either it's inscribed in a circle or circumscribed about a circle. So what happens if I choose inscribed in a circle and then draw? It lets me create a polygon. So to understand what does the term inscribed in a circle mean, so let's choose this center radius. Yeah, you can see this particular polygon is inscribed in a circle. So AutoCAD creates a virtual circle around the polygon, and then based on the chord length, it draws the hexagon parameter. And we don't see this circle when AutoCAD produces as a hexagon, but when we draw a circle around it to understand how does the term inscribed in a circle mean, we can see the circle, the polygon fits perfectly within the circle. Similarly, there are different features. For example, if you want to add detailed elements to your geometry, to add colors to your geometry, you can use the hatch icon to color your geometry or the workspace. So we will discuss these detailed elements in the next subtopic, which is adding annotation and standards. Let's quickly see the different icons that are offered to us in the insert toolbar before we proceed to the quiz for this section. Move icon lets you select an object and then creates lets you to move the particular toolbar and then copy. For example, if I want to select this particular icon, move, and click, and then click enter. I have to specify the base point, and I have to specify you can see the cursor, it moves the line segment along with my cursor. So copy lets you select an object and then click enter. You can specify the base point, and then it lets you copy the same icon anywhere in your model space. Similarly, you can use a stretch to extend cross by the selection window, or you can extend the sketch or rotate your particular segment. For example, you can select a particular icon, click enter, specify the base point, and then you can rotate it by certain angle, or you can mirror about a plane, or you can scale the model element. You can scale, for example, this particular icon we will discuss in detail when we are converting the units of the drawing that we produce. Similarly, the icons such as trims, fillets, and array, we will discuss in detail tomorrow in tomorrow's workshop, because we will be working on multiple object elements in the next tomorrow's session. So in today's session, we will be discussing adding annotation standards, measuring length, angles, and producing clean and error-free drawings for AutoCAD. So now let's discuss with the second quiz for the day, that discuss the this is going to be our second quiz for today. You can take 5 minutes to answer these questions, and similar to the first quiz, we can discuss the responses. So we have received more responses from before uh, compared to the first quiz on this one. So thank you for taking your time in answering these questions. So hope these questions help you in understanding CAD icons better, or like helping you to get started with AutoCAD. So let's go over the response that I've received from you. Yeah, which command helps you to access line? Yeah, the line command helps you in accessing the line. For example, if you choose line, you can access the line icon, or if you choose line, from this, it lets you choose the type of line that you want to draw in the line segment. So the second question that was with which parameter circle cannot be created, and like every one of you have got this question right. So we can use the center and radius, the center and diameter, or the 3-point method, but we cannot use the 4-point method for creating the circle per AutoCAD. So identify the method discussed in class to draw an arc. So like this has been divided into two responses. So we discussed even both the methods. So I would select both the start, center, and start, end, and radius. So this was a multiple choice question. So probably I think the Google Sheet response didn't pick that. So I would take, like, almost every one of you got this question right, wherein we are using the start, center, and start, end, and radius method to discuss the arc in today's class. Yeah. So what is an alternative command P line to draw polylines?